Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you all so much for joining me today. Firing up my webcam here because today's going to be a little bit different presentation. We're going to have a fairly active discussion about the ABA Blueprint program. So while that's getting ready, just a couple of quick housekeeping notes, a little bit of background on myself. If we haven't met in person yet, thank you for joining us today. And I've spent the last 12 years creating legal technology products, but then also bringing them to market and serving as a practice management advisor for the Chicago Bar Association. So I teach our vendor webinar series with the motivation to do two things. One, to help your marketing dollars go as far as possible, but then also to help give you an idea of what we're hearing inside of the law firms. I travel all over the country teaching CLEs. So when an attorney or a law firm is evaluating a product or service, what are the things that they're looking for? What are ways that you can separate and distinguish your product from others in the marketplace? And so the ABA Blueprint program, which is the topic of conversation for today, is something that I really feel has been misunderstood over time. And so what I want to do is break down and give you an understanding of what the program is, how it's being used by attorneys, and then your role as a vendor in this particular marketplace. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and give you a little bit of background on what the ABA Blueprint program actually is. So we're going to start at the ABA Blueprint website. And if you haven't done a member benefit program in the past, or you're not familiar with how they typically work, the ABA is the largest voluntary bar association of attorneys in the world. And so in addition to what an attorney might have in their local market, like a county bar association membership or a state bar association membership, the ABA membership gets them access to additional CLEs, it gets them discounts on conferences, in the bookstore, all kinds of other benefits. But the Blueprint program is something that was created in 2016 in conjunction with Curo Legal, or led by Chad Burton, if you've seen his name in the marketplace. And it was created to offer members of the ABA, which is a vast and ever-growing number, a different type of member benefit program, a different type of platform for finding the technology that can help them in their practice. And so you'll see, as it's pictured here on the screen, this is the homepage for the ABA Blueprint program, where law firms can come and they can shop by category. They can actually, which is free, and you'll notice in red, they can just go ahead and view products here, and they can say, I need basics, I'd like you to help me get paid, I'm looking to grow, I'm helping me build a team. Or as part of their ABA membership, they can actually go through and fill out a questionnaire, which then matches them with tailored solutions or suggests tailored solutions for their practice, or does a practice consultation to help match make them with the technology that they need. And so the purpose and the thought behind ABA Blueprint is to eliminate the need for traditional consulting to find solutions that are going to help them in their daily life. So by driving them through a questionnaire, by having product pages as part of the ABA Blueprint website, now ABA members are encouraged to go out and seek out and find those solutions that are going to help them, whether that be something like payment processing or virtual receptionist software services or case management software. Now they have a resource where they can not only access and understand what the different options are for their firm, but they can also go through kind of a needs assessment that would allow them to seek out those solutions and get answers with the help of a little bit of a practice consultation. So, what I want to go through today is how to leverage this as a provider. I think in general, member benefit programs are something where vendors oftentimes think like, okay, well, we're a member benefit for a particular state. Why aren't leads raining from the sky? Why don't we just, have customers banging down our door because we've been endorsed by, as part of the member benefit program by a particular state or local bar association? And the first thing to recognize is this, is that yes, participating in a program like ABA Blueprint is one of the best ways to essentially gain approval, to have your product vetted and approved by the largest voluntary bar association for lawyers in the world. Also, one that issued Opinion 477, which recommends and requires attorneys to start operating their practices with a level of professional responsibility as it relates to technology. So they're forcing, and creating policies and regulations that are going to put you in a better position to sell your product because they're being required to take additional care and use these solutions to run their practice to be, better business people. But then it also gives you the chance to go through and get vetted and approved so that you can use your ABA Blueprint membership as a sales tool, as a marketing asset. And so what we're going to walk through today are ways that you can actually do that. And so as part of the ABA Blueprint program, what you get, if you've not already signed up for membership, and this is what's included. So as part of your ABA Blueprint membership, you will get a product page. So if they're signed in or if they're just coming through and navigating, you'll go ahead and you'll create a product page. Now this is an example of Clio's, and you can see here, you can sign in for your discount or you can go directly to the Clio website. And then in the corners, which I'll show you inside the tailored solution, there's also estimates as to how much law firms are saving. And so this is something that's unique. It also has screenshots. This is a place where you could put videos, promote your pricing. So the ABA member can come in and they can quickly see what they would be able to purchase inside the program and the available discounts. So every vendor gets a product page, and that's organized by category. So basics or getting paid, also helping them grow. So this is things like CRMs. And you can see over here that if they were to buy everything, in the grow pack section, total member savings is estimated at $1,172 to $1,575. So right there, it's already saying, if you're looking to grow, this is the total savings on the below services and offerings that you can expect. And where a discount's available, like you can see that MailChimp is listed here, but there's no ABA discount available. Those are the types of things where it's going to help promote your product. So as you put your product page together, things to think about are, is this a discount that they can get for being an ABA member and going through the Blueprint program? Or is this something that they would be able to find on your website? You want to make it different than anything else that they have out there. And then also they have the option to contact a consultant. And so this consultant is going to recommend member vendors of the ABA Blueprint program. So if we navigate to tailored solutions, this is the difference. Now they start breaking it down into virtual assistant services and marketing and technology basics. So a little bit different approach as opposed to just shopping by category, where I'm looking for a specific case management or virtual receptionist or payment processing service. Now we go into tailored solutions where we'll go into virtual assistants. It'll require them to log in, and then there'll be tailored solutions where, like with virtual receptionists, you're providing them with a script, and it's going to give them information on why they need to go through that setup process. And then, as always, a consultant is available to help coach them through this. And the goal of the ABA and the mission of the ABA's motivation in putting the ABA Blueprint program together is that they want to equip the law firm with as many options and discounts available, while also extending that consultative approach for someone who might be nervous signing up for a new solution. And so when you become an ABA Blueprint provider, and I'll see if I can share my webcam. All right. And when you become an ABA Blueprint provider, here's a few ways that you can actually leverage it to your clients and from a marketing and a sales perspective. So the first thing that you want to do after you're approved and to become an ABA Blueprint provider, you go to the application page. So this is hosted by Curo Legal because they are the partner of the ABA Blueprint program. They helped create it. And then you'll say sign up. You'll go through, enter your company information, address, phone number, and then start your product or service description. So are you software as a service? How many products would you like to have listed as part of the ABA Blueprint program? You're going to give a description of each of those products or services here. And then also, how many years have you been serving paid customers? What is your ideal target customer size? Do you focus on any specific practice area, any geographic area, and then what is your discount? And so what this is essentially your application to be approved by the ABA, because they don't want anyone inside of the ABA Blueprint program that doesn't offer services specific to lawyers. So this allows you to be vetted and approved by the ABA as a Blueprint provider. And that's a big deal. When we talk to law firms about technology, when we're out in the marketplace teaching CLEs, we oftentimes hear, horror stories about using solutions that aren't created specifically for law firms. And so this is really where sales and marketing meet your ABA Blueprint membership and how you can leverage that. So once you go through the application process, if you have, and then they'll send you an invoice provided that you're approved. And if you have any questions on where to find that application, on lextechreview.com, you can read my ABA Blueprint blog post, and there is a link to apply all the way down in the last section. You can also schedule a one-on-one meeting with me if you have any questions about the program or something that you heard in today's session. And then this is the recording will also be linked to today's presentation here as well. So where sales and marketing meet the ABA Blueprint program is that once you have created your page, once you've been approved and your discount is live and you've got all those pieces in place, going out into the marketplace and using this as a reason to talk about your product. So the very first thing that you should be thinking about is your press release. Issuing a press release, you can do so in one of two places. You can write that press release and issue it on traditional press release outlets such as PR Wire or Newswire, or what I would also recommend is that you issue it on the ALM Newswire, which is specific to the legal industry. And I'm going to go ahead and pull that up for you now. And the difference is this, that the ALM Newswire, ALM Newsroom allows you to focus it on the legal industry. I think the biggest piece of frustration that I hear from marketers in the space is that you do press releases, but they go out to, Yahoo Finance or Market Watch or, all of these other outlets. The ALM press room and press release service is a little bit more expensive, but it is targeted specific to the legal industry. And if you don't have a resource that can help you put this together and put a release out on the ALM network, I can, would be happy to provide you with that information. That's something that that we provide as part of the Legal Technology Media Group. And then we partner with Christy Burke of Burke & Company out of New York. She does them all the time. So I'm happy to connect you there. So the ALM network is the first place where I would issue a press release. You can also issue one on Newswire. The cost is about double. It's about $300 for a standard press release or $600 if you're issuing it through the ALM network. which by the time, if you're using PR Wire or Newswire or any of those other outlets, by the time you target legal and they add all the additional fees, it actually comes out to being about the same. So I'd much rather spend those press dollars in a place where it's going to be issued to organizations and law firms within the legal industry. So issue that press release first. Be excited about it. Have it be something that you share. So we're going to issue a press release saying that we're part of the ABA Blueprint program. And then after that, you can take that press release, put it on your website, note that you're an ABA Blueprint provider, that you've now have this, been approved and vetted as part of the program. Create a page on your website that links back to the ABA Blueprint program, which, by the way, you can include here as a link back to your website. So you can say, pricing, features, integrations, there's all kinds of things that you can put here. You can go to product website. And so I do recommend that you dedicate a page on your website to the ABA Blueprint program and that you get a link back from the ABA, which is a really, really valuable high-ranking site from an SEO perspective. So press release first, dedicated page on your website, linking from your product page to your website page dedicated to the ABA Blueprint program. It will also show visitors of your website that you are investing in this partnership. You're investing in this relationship. On that ABA Blueprint website page, you can host a copy of that press release. You can also note your discount and show your commitment to that partnership through a little bit of light copy, offer a demo video or a downloadable help guide or ebook, something that captures the reader's attention, but also provides value to anyone who's visiting who might be an ABA member, offering them the ability to get the discount there as well. So once you have created that asset, that website page, and that press release, now it's time to talk about email marketing and sales touch points. So you can take your ABA Blueprint membership product page, and you can send an email out to your list saying, we're so excited to have become part of the ABA Blueprint program. If you've considered our product or service before, and are also a member of the ABA, take advantage of this discount. So this can be an email campaign that's sent in, one-off responses. Let's, meet with your sales team or your sales staff, give them some template content that they can use to follow up with prospects who might be on the fence. I would be very surprised if a majority of the prospects that you're working with are not ABA members in some way, shape, or form. It's a pretty common membership for them to have, and they'll be pleasantly surprised that you're offering them a discount associated with their ABA membership that they may not have been aware of. So use it as a sales touch point for prospects that you currently have engaged in the sales process. You can also use that touch point, that same language, just slightly different, in an email campaign to your entire list. So anyone that you've ever interacted with as a follow-up to a particular conference, or maybe it's a webinar that you've done. Create an entire email campaign around why it's important for you as a provider to be part of the ABA Blueprint program. Note complementary products and services. So let's say that you have an integration with some of the other providers in the ABA Blueprint program. Whether your case management system that's integrated with a virtual receptionist product, or reach out to your partners if maybe you're doing payment processing or that you're integrated with a payment processor, and note that not only are they going to get a discount on your service, but they'll also get a discount on those integration partner services as well. And we have a webinar next week talking about maximizing your integration partnerships. We'll be giving away some sample content in that webinar next week. So definitely consider attending. It's something that we don't do fairly often, but we'll give out email templates that you can use for announcements of integration partnerships, or email content that you can send to your list or to prospects. So that'll be a good follow-up from today's webinar if you want to join us or have time next week. And so as part of this ABA Blueprint program, the purpose for you in your sales conversation or your marketing is to note the fact that you have been vetted and approved. You haven't gone through this application process in vain, that you have to provide information about the types of services that you provide, the types of law firms that you work with. How many years have you been serving paid customers? These are questions that the goal of the program is to vet providers on behalf of the lawyers so that they don't have to do it on their own. And so note that in your marketing content, tout that in your sales conversations, you know, that we've been serving law firms and that our products and services are built to support the needs of what it takes to run a practice. And that's something, especially if you're focusing on specific practice areas, to call out. And don't be shy about the descriptions that you include in here. You really want this content that's on your product page to be pointed. Use of bullet points is fantastic here, especially because they're going to see that discount, then they're going to come into the product page. They're going to want to know, you know, your top 3 pain points that you solve or reasons that they should sign up for the service. Videos or those screenshots that are available here, pricing, any other related solutions or integrations that you have. So make sure that you're not just, you know, kind of rushing through that form, that you do take the time to think about what the member is going to experience and make sure that this targets your ideal type of client. And so then as a follow-up to your membership, what you'll also receive in the ABA Blueprint program is access to our vendor Slack community. And so in the vendor Slack community, we will be talking about marketing and sales initiatives that a lot of our vendors have. I'll be hosting webinars like this, and I'll also be providing sample content such as the sample press release that I mentioned earlier, and then sample email campaigns, sample sales emails that your team can use. So really leverage the fact that you are a ABA Blueprint member, get involved in the vendor Slack community, and that note that being part of this program also will give us the ability to share information with you, such as the type of data that we're seeing, traffic coming through the site. To give you some anecdotal numbers, over 30,000 visits to the ABA Blueprint program by members have been seen since it started in 2016. And on average, each product page sees over 3,000 views. So that's something to think about. I mean, this is not just people clicking in. They're actively shopping for a solution, and those numbers are only going to increase over time. So use it, leverage it, create the website, the page on your website, issue that press release, send out that email campaign, you know, saying that you're excited to have become an approved provider of the ABA Blueprint program. Arm your sales team with the information that they need to reach out to prospects and promote your membership. And then also get involved in that vendor community and take advantage of all the free resources that we're going to be providing in there, which will be the sample press release, the sample email campaign, and also the sample sales email that your team can send out to prospects. So we've got a little bit of time left today for questions. We try to keep our vendor webinars around between 30 and 40 minutes. And the next one that we have coming up is on maximizing your integration partnerships. So I'd like to open it up to questions, and I'm happy to answer those or to brainstorm about ways that you can use the ABA Blueprint membership in your marketing material. And one last note there, you can also put this ABA Blueprint logo on your marketing material at conferences or in your email signature or other places that are high visibility for anyone who might be considering your product or service. So if you have a question, go ahead and enter it into the questions pane now, and I'll tackle those as they come in. All right, excellent. 3,000 product page views. So what time frame was that? So the measurements in traffic were since 2016. So 30,000 visits and members have gone through the ABA Blueprint platform, and then the average for product page since it has started is 3,000 views to the product page. And also another note on that is that the time between 2016 and 2018 was to build the website and the platform essentially, and then also refine the delivery and the connecting members to these products and services. So now that that has been done, the reason why it's being promoted so heavily again is because they are opening they're opening the doors in August, and including far more vendors than were included between 2016 and now, because when the program first started, they did not want a ton of different options in there. They wanted to make sure that the delivery was scalable, that they were going to be able to offer the consultations, that the assessment form in matchmaking law firms to the technology was all set up and running like a well-oiled machine. So now that they have 2 years of proof of concept, they're going to be promoting this out to members more heavily than ever before, which is why it's important to apply and to get your product or service into the platform before that August deadline, because I will tell you that there will be a backlog of vendors awaiting approval. So if you have an intention of signing up for the ABA Blueprint program, to get your application in now, because come August, that's when the deadline is to get your application, and there'll be a backlog waiting for approvals. Okay, and then we'll be distributing the materials in Slack to the vendors who have already signed up within the next 2 weeks, so they'll be able to start using those press releases and email campaigns. And there's also a coaching element there of the different ways that you can use Blueprint. If you'd like to brainstorm about marketing campaigns, that is part of the ABA Blueprint program. We'll be hosting that Slack vendor community and answering those questions and providing those materials as time goes on. All right, and do we have any other questions before we wrap up today's session? All right. Well, I hope that you'll all join me for our webinar next week on maximizing integration partnerships. We'll be providing some free materials in that session as well. And you're always welcome to schedule a one-on-one call with me via Calendly. You can choose a 15 or 30-minute block. I'm happy to chat with you about your marketing options and ways to leverage your membership in the ABA Blueprint program. Thank you all so much for joining me. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you soon.